Oh, we're back. I thought it was on. There's the purple Urple. There he is, yeah. Well, folks, I think it's undeniable. I just was filming some of those gold balls, like the silver ones I had. It's undeniable. Okay, we've got them here now. The ETs are here. They've been here forever. I think we, people that are listening to me know that shit already. I ain't telling anybody anything they haven't already known for a fucking, millennia now almost. And so now what? Now I guess it's just now we wait and then it's announced officially and we live amongst them. And I think that's what it is. It isn't. See, here's going to be the trippy part. Most of the things are going to come up. They're not going to be good or bad things. They're just going to be they are because there's a difference. I mean, it's hard to explain interdimensional behavior when they come from a realm that nothing's like ours. They don't have the same rules. They don't even have the same rules. They don't even know the same fucking game. I mean, you know what I mean? Fuck, man. They've never heard of it. We've never heard of their shit. I mean, we wouldn't even know. It's even a stretch with some of that shit to even try to explain to somebody what you think you're seeing. I mean, some of it's that fucking different and foreign that, man, all you can do is reach to even try to explain well, it reminds me of this, but yeah, it's really weird. And then, of course, you don't want to sound too weird when you're explaining it, but what else can you do? You know, what the fuck else can the person do, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's for sure it's different. Yeah. But I mean, and it's gonna be like, but you still hear like on TV and shit, people don't have no idea anything's going on there. They don't sound like it. It's like, dude, aren't you taking a look around? Fuck, man. Yeah. And then I shouldn't ask, I gotta be careful what I ask for because then I've gotten people that have done that and then I've gotten them asking me a million questions. Like, what are they here for? What do they want? What are they gonna do? When's that gonna happen? Why? It's like, dude, whoa, slow down. Slow down there, Tiger. You just found out about it, fuckface. How do you think I've been feeling for decades now? Get all interested on my ass about it. I know, here I'm begging them to get interested, and once they do, I'm like, get over yourself. Yeah, it's just the frustration of dealing with it. That's where I've had to really work over the years at getting better at not being a sarcastic punk. Yeah, because I was that fucking sarcastic bitch punk that never took advice. And it's just cocky and arrogant, and it hurts that I was that way. It really does. It hurts to think that I was that way to people on air and everything. It does, and I regret it. It's like weird. I just want them to know, trust me, long after they and probably have forgotten about the shit I've done, dude, I'll be dwelling on it, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm getting paid back, don't worry, folks. Oh boy, am I. But yeah, there's no reason for it, fuck. Because see, here's the deal. I mean, there's two things, and I said this the other night, we're both at the same time all powerful beings that can do anything, right? But at the same time, as far as a 3D Earth existence goes, dude, we can be dead in a New York second. I mean, we can be out of it this time, and our souls are forever. We never die. We are that powerful. But as far as leaving Earth this time, hey, man, that shit could happen any fucking time. So I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't mind, but you gotta be, I'd kind of like to stay around for a while and see what happens. Oh, look at that. They're ganging out. Oh, they were going to gang up on him. The silver balls are jumping the purple orb. Filmed at 11. Yeah, I think what's going to be trippy is, more so than the aliens coming here, though. Look, people, I'm here to tell you this more so than that shit, and it is trippy. Oh, boy, it is trippy, right? I know, I get it. Believe me, I get it if anybody does. The interdimensionals you're going to be meeting and shit, dude, if you haven't met them yet. Which you probably have seen them and you just don't even know it. Oh, yeah, because you won't even know. I mean, you really won't even know what to make of it for a while. It's yeah, and there's no explaining it unless you've been there. And even if you've been there, only a very few people can explain. I can't. Could explain a tiny bit of what it might look like, and it's just even the best people I've ever heard try to go there. It's a stretch. It's somewhere. It's got about 1/10 of a resonation in it. at most. Yeah, so it's hard. But so it goes, and there's little green guy, and gold guys, and silver guys. Yeah. Huh. Well, I wonder if they're gonna race spacecrafts. Here's the purple energy. You know, that one thing that purple's supposed to mean is that, you know, somebody's got a crush on you, or somebody cares about you from long distance, or somebody has a crush on you. There's two meanings there. Every orb has two meanings. You have a spirit, you have just two meanings. That's it. Your spirit meaning and your energy meaning. And they don't conflict usually. You know, they're usually, well, not it. Either they don't ever conflict. That's not possible. But most of the time they do resonate with each other quite a bit. You know, what their spiritual purpose is and what their energy is, their overall energy is about. Yeah, exactly. And then what you got to determine when you're around them is the only thing you got to determine is, because it's pretty self-explanatory to read about them, and that information is usually true. You got to figure out if they're there, if they're in your life, for you specifically, or if they're in your life because they're trying to show you something about somebody that's close to you specifically. You know, that's the thing you gotta, and that usually is pretty easy to figure out. But that's one of the two reasons. It could be either solely for you, or to kind of show you what somebody else is. You know, either way, it's for you really. But you can kind of get what I'm saying. People get what I'm saying when I mean that. You know, where, you know, a situation where the other person's the one with the issue that has to fix it, you know, but yet you're stuck there with it. So you be careful. Yeah. I guess not. Huh. Well, what the hell? Purple orb, I would love to stay and visit you with you forevermore. So we could talk forevermore and become one big purple orb. Of course, I'm kind of pale. I might make you a little bit, I don't know, between you and me, we could probably turn pink. Huh? Yeah. I don't know about that. Yeah. Pink. You know, my junior high was considering going to pink. They really were. See, I went to a junior high that was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. My 8th grade year, you know how you go back to school on a Monday? We went back to school Monday, as early September. Well, Friday, my best buddy, Scotty, staying the night with me. My mom wakes us up about 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. Your school's on fire, your school's on... I'm like, what? Shut up, Mom, I'm tired. No, your school's on fire, you gotta go. You don't want to miss this opportunity to see it. I'm like, what the fuck? See, the trip is my mom had went to that same school, and it burnt down when she was in the 8th fucking grade. And that was in so that was in 62 when hers happened. Mine was in 89. It was in the fall of 89. You know, September of 89. You know, I went to that junior high for 2 years, my 6th and 7th grade year, and then got all excited to have the prime locker in there my 8th grade year. We had to go to a building right next to the high school that the high school used for some things to finish our 8th grade year. But it wasn't just there. The kids that were behind me, they were in that school another few years at least before the new junior high was built. But what I'm getting at is they wanted to change the name then. Because, see, when my mom went there, they eventually changed the name too after she left there. It didn't right away, but if they were going to, and they did. They changed it from the Michigan Trojans to the Sunset Junior High Dolphins. And that's what I was a Dolphin. But there was a big push at the time by a lot of community members, and I couldn't believe it, for my town in 1989. And I know it was getting liberated, but not quite this much. They wanted to rename us the Sunset Flamingos and have us have a hot pink color. And I'm thinking, oh God, I could just hear it. The games. Oh man, these poor kids. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to affect me any because, I mean, you know, I was in my last year going there, and they sure as hell weren't going to do it. They weren't going to fucking do it until they got a new junior high built. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. So I didn't really think much of it, but I knew it wasn't probably going to go anywhere anyway. That was a little bridge, a little bit too much to cross, I think, in '89. You know, and yeah, and why would you be doing that? And, oh yeah, it would have, there would have had to been some kind of big agenda involved to get that going. You know, Midtown America in 1989 still? Nah. It's still pretty redneckish. I mean, you know, you gotta understand, there was still a lot of people, there were still a lot of people in 1989 that thought fucking being a homosexual was a fucking abomination and a disease and a sickness and shit. You know, even though I tried telling all these morons that most of your pedophiles are fucking heterosexuals. And it doesn't even matter, it's none of your goddamn business what they do. You know, fuck. Maybe you're one, you know, that's the best way to get somebody who's got a problem with it. Because it isn't even a matter of having your own opinion. When you don't, you know, you're a hateful fuck. You know, I don't agree with that. Well, good, don't do it then, you know? Like, it's one thing to, like, not be, well, that's not the kind of sex I prefer. Hey, that's fine, man. Who cares? You know, don't, shit. You know, they're always making out in front of people. They're not either, and if they are, so what? I bet you kiss your girl in front of one. Look, I sound like one in front of one. No, in front of them. So what if they do? And the ones that do, that's a very rare exception. And if you were to take all the fucking heterosexuals that act like dipshits in that regard, oh, God, it way outweighs it. Come on. You're just conditioned to thinking that's okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? You see, you can shut these people down every step of the way, and then they get well, and defensive, and that's how I feel, that's my opinion. And, okay, well, you look like it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong, you look like a dipshit. You know, you're acting out of emotion, and and I don't like it when people act out of emotion. And I mean that, don't get me wrong, people don't get it fucking twisted. I mean, good emotion's good emotion. I'm the first one that would ever show you and tell you that. But not when you're acting hostile and out of emotion. See, I have a hard time, if somebody's hurt and crying, I feel all the empathy for them in the world, and I start crying. If it's that they're fucking angry, that's fine, I get angry with them one time too, but after that, if they keep getting angry about it instead of sad, I know there's a problem with them. You know, because you got two types of people. When they get hurt, everybody does both, though. You do get a little bit of both, but predominantly, like, good, sensitive people, when they get hurt or screwed over, they'll cry. Maybe a little passive-aggressive, but they'll cry. They'll get upset. But these people, other people tell them to get over it, buck it up. You got to just move on. But most of those people, I'm not going to say all, most of them, though, 80% of them, are the same type of motherfuckers that if a quarter of the problem goes their way, goes wrong their way, a quarter of them, oh, they think it's a big problem, and they bitch and moan and piss and see blood red mad. You know, instead of being sad and upset, they see blood red mad. Yet the whole hypocrisy is that at the same time, they want you to get over something when you're 25 more times in tune with feelings than they could ever possibly be. You know what I mean? That's the whole ironic thing is they barely even deserve the right to even have a feeling. You know, those kind of people, you know, but yet they think, but that's the whole problem right there. They don't think. And to try to ever get them to understand and be like I said, talking to this orb right here, I'd have better luck. Yeah, they get hostile and see blood red mad over, and hold grudges. Dude, unless somebody fucking beat up one of your family members or hurt your kids or something, what are you fucking stupid ass holding a grudge for? You know, or cheat, you know, something that I wouldn't even be worth mentioning, because duh. You know, those handful of couple of things. I mean, well, duh. I mean, you know, God. Somebody telling me one time when I told him I was always against going to wars and shit. Well, God, wouldn't you even fight if somebody invaded here? Wouldn't even answer him. I just made a mockery of him in front of people. Made a mockery of him because I knew what they were getting at. They were just getting all emotional. Like, no, motherfucker, I'd stand and roll over. Yeah, you don't know the difference between fighting for survival and having a plan to defend yourself versus going over to some fucking nothing of an island of a nation in the middle of the goddamn nowhere, and starting a bunch of shit and staying there forever. Oh, yeah, I really want to do that. I want to go to a Vietnam so the government can make millions and billions of dollars off the war. Yet, we're going to stay there in that hut for fucking 20 years, never get anywhere. Just keep getting pushed back and use the excuse, well, they know their country better than we do. We don't. Yeah, well, motherfucker, that's the case. But after 20 years, when you're at a fucking little island, eventually, and we had enough people there to surround about every foot of the fucking way. Okay, it's a big area, I get it. But that excuse only goes so long. If I'm on your property for 20 years fighting you, I'm going to get to learn a little bit of something about it myself. And if I've got enough troops to surround the whole thing, I could have got out. But no, too much money to be made. And it was even admitted later, but a lot of stupid people bite into it. Oh, we got to stop the spread of communism. Yeah, well, no shit we do. Of course we did and do, but for their next door, for like one block of a next door neighbor, that wasn't the Ukraine or anything, for fuck's sake. I don't know, but And here's the whole ironic thing about that war. If you do your history, which none of you do, you wouldn't know this if your kid's life depended on it. Anybody hears this right now. Do you know that the Russians came to us, or not the Russians, the North Vietnamese came to us for help? Oh yeah, they wanted to build their own nation. They didn't want to go to war with it first, so they say they wanted us to help them kind of set up a government, right? And and see how we, and kind of learn from us how we do it, and they were going to pay us for it. Before all you people out there going, why should we help them? I know Gus helping people's wrong. I know most of you people think that. But it's the American way. But, they were going to pay us good money, and we told them to go pound sand because we knew it was coming down the road. The military-industrial complex of our country knew that we could use that because they knew that they would end up going to Russia, which they did. They went to the other superpower, get help, and they knew we could get in on a war and then make a fucking billions of dollars, man. They knew it already. Of course, that's how it gets planned. You don't just think, oh, I want to make a bunch of money, and then it happens. Surprisingly, even those people, you got to actually do something. You got to actually put it into work. You can't, sit there and think, I think it's going to happen, So, of course, that was planned out. They knew that before North Vietnam even asked. They knew that was one of the areas it could possibly be at. And they'd use it as an excuse to stay there. And the Russians would use it as an excuse against their people because they were the only country, all in all. There were a lot more countries worse than us the way they treat their people. Don't get me wrong, but as far as being a complete shady piece of shit of a country, they're probably the one that's worse, they might be the only one that's worse than us as far as shit goes. Where we are, I'm sorry to disappoint the public out there, my fellow Americans, we only get the silver medal for that. We only get the silver medal. And hell, they could even come back and say, well, you guys invade everywhere and all that. Yeah, dude, I'm not talking about any of that shit. I'm talking about pure intention. There's facts, and then there's those times where you can look at somebody's eyes and they're a stone cold killer. There's only a few people on earth I would list that about, and it's none of our politicians. They'd be complicit in one, maybe, I'm sure, but I've only seen it in a few people's eyes before ever. Whether it was Ashtar from the Ashtar Command, who looks just like Putin, the replica of him, or Putin, that guy that runs Israel right now, he's close. Not quite like Putin is, but and those other crazy fucks like Kim Jong-un and North Korean dude, and Iran, and the thing about those chumps, dude, they are dictators and brutal and mean. And at the end of the day, though, and they are scary motherfuckers, but you know what? What you see is what you get with them. What you see is what you get. What worse could we find out about them? We already know. They already know that they do the unforgiven every day. So what is it? There ain't anything I could possibly hear about either of those two that would be like, oh, wow, gee, I couldn't imagine that. Unless maybe, of course, they decided to, ease restrictions on women or some shit like that. Then I might be a little surprised. But, there's nothing they could possibly do at all. Because it wouldn't, not only would it not surprise me, it wouldn't even faze me, really. Yeah, it wouldn't even faze me. They just like to talk a lot of shit, though, too. But, Putin and that guy, Netanyahu, they're dangerous men. It ain't even about politics. They're dangerous, and don't give me this shit about Palestine. Dude, who cares if they're the worst terrorists ever? I'm not talking about them. That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it whatsoever, and you can get caught up in that, but, You know, they stole that land from Palestine, and people, you know it. That wasn't God's chosen land. And besides, you went all the way to the Middle East for a little piece of a couple feet football field worth of land. I mean, Russia was right up there. Why don't you guys go get some cold, frozen tundra up there? And half of the Jewish people are great people, and they think that way. They know it. They don't like these Zionist fuck like Netanyahu that's running the country. A lot of those Zionist people over there, they like that shit, man. They were the ones that stood by Hitler. You know, and then they blame George Soros and shit for it. I love the George Soros, the boogeyman. I got his fan page if you like him, people, 1,000 likes. Dude, you know, and I do that because he's not a boogie. He's not even anybody. We're pissed off at him, too. Hey, you know the side that like all the fascist conservatives bitch about George Soros funding? He don't. You know why I know that? Because I know that. I'm in the know. Take it from me. If you've ever believed anything I said, and this is more true than your love for your kids, or is it, or as much, not even a question. We can't get that son of a bitch to donate a dime. You know, unless he just started like in the last okay, so unless he just started when Kamala started running, unless he just started then I wouldn't know, but I do know before then. Okay, and yeah, that's the funny thing, I haven't heard shit since she started running about him. It's been pretty quiet on the Soros front the last few months, so. But I'm telling you that for sure, before that, no, he never did. I don't know, maybe $20 here and there, had somebody, you know, he's sending a donation or some shit, I don't know. But no, he's never put, see, you gotta register over so much. And it isn't, you know, and I know he could do it backdoor, but he hasn't. And if he has, so what, other people have too. Yeah, he don't, and his money doesn't. But I'll tell you what, it would help if he was to contribute what they think he was going to contribute, or say he was. Oh, it helps in races, a little bit, you know. But no, he don't. I mean, you know, he's the boogeyman that never was. And dude, let's face it. You know how old the guy was when he left Germany? Let's say he was a big Nazi sympathizer and all that, like they say. Let's say he was. The kid was just 4. He just turned 14. He was 13. Just turned 14. Really, you're gonna hold somebody in that fucking environment back in that war, that heated war, where to me everything's off once it's over. With that, everything's just. We're gonna go ahead and have a restart after that bullshit. Yeah, okay, you're gonna blame him. You gotta dream. So what? He kept something a secret that he saw as a young, scared kid. Yeah. Love to see when you fuckers would be put in that situation, how you'd handle it. Yeah, and what is it he done? You know, and where did you hear it? See, I always ask these people, where did you hear it? Did you hear it on Fox News? Mm-hmm. Did you read it in Newsmax? Mm-hmm. Did you read it through that, you know, that slut child molester magazine, Breitbart? Is that where you read it? Okay. Okay, I get it. I see. Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, you mean that pizza parlor that Hillary Clinton was molesting kids in that didn't have a basement? That was in the basement? The one right in the middle of fucking town? Oh, yeah, sure. With kids in schools in and out of it all day long. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I know. It's just like they were trying to say that there's this place where people are lined up to go. They're killing their babies. They're murdering their babies. Are only a month and 2 months old, and they're waiting in lines all the way around the block. Now, there were people stupid enough to buy that. I don't give a fuck what they try to keep secret. There is nothing. There is no strong global force that could keep that a secret, that day in and day out there's a place where there are people lined up a mile long to kill their babies at 2 months old. Really, that's what was said. It was like that. I'm not exaggerating. The reason I even mention it because it's stupid, but there's a lot of dumb fucks that believed it. I mean, I'm sure. That's not anything even the best kept secret. You couldn't do it. The best money couldn't keep that one even secret for an hour. In today's world, no. Maybe a day way pre-internet, if that, but no. So, yeah, it isn't even possible. Not even possible. Everybody in the whole country would have to go say, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, and which they would. I mean, you could say some shit like that, and people their ears are gonna perk up. And you can't blame them, but, you know, still. Yeah, they're, well, it's nice to see at least they're a little concerned, though, because usually, typically, the anti-abortion people are so concerned with the baby when it's in the womb. But they don't give a fuck when it's out of it. Their party constantly votes down school lunches, Head Start plans. Don't believe me? Look it up. Look it up, dumbass. 80% of the people vote that way. They're against it. And 80% of the people are also against contraceptives for kids. They don't want them screwing in school. They don't want them, but they don't want to give them any protection. They don't want to get pregnant. They don't want to give them any protection. Yet they fucked around when they're in high school. I love killing parents like that. I'm like, you mean to tell me your kid who's another generation ahead, and actually 2 generations ahead because it's a more technical age now, than you are consciously? You mean to tell me that you don't think that they would be interested in having a relationship and experiencing that as much as your stupid fucking hick-ass did? Really? Oh, you don't want to make the same mistakes you did. Oh, that's so, huh? Yeah, shut up and get off your high horse. Get off your high horse, man. Come on. Make my kids make the same mistakes I did. Well, it's true. No, it's not. Bullshit, motherfucker. There's more. Yeah, I bet it is true. I hear you, but there's more to your agenda the way you're putting it. You're trying to equivocate and backtrack. I was like, kid, quit it. Just stop. I mean, you know what? You're ignorant. You're blind from the fat. And I don't mean on your body. I mean in your brain. You buy into the hate game. The fear-mongering. The bullshit, the fear-mongering. But yet you buy into it, but yet the real people that are causing it, the people you like, you don't want... Fuck, man, you could watch them rape a kid right in front of your face and you'd have an excuse for it, and you really would. It'd take just about that, and even then you'd have an excuse, and you know it. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine, let's just take this election, for instance, and who cares who wins, right? But let's take this, for instance. Okay, so now, and hey, everybody makes mistakes. I've been married a few times myself, but look, Trump married 3 times, had kids with each of them. No problem, okay, right? But now, could you imagine if Barack Obama, when he was first coming onto the scene in the early 2000s, can you imagine if a black man in that would have had 3 baby mamas, would have been caught, rumors with porn stars, everything like that shit, rumors. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered if it was true or not. They would have crucified his ass. Plus, dude, I can guarantee you one thing on your life, on your kids' life, on my kids' life, every late night show in the goddamn country, especially the weekend ones, every late night show in the goddamn country would have some fucking comedy skit on about Barack Obama being a pimp and having him wearing a fucking overcoat and, a top hat and looking like that 70s stereotypical, pimp, right, that you had in blaxploitation movies. You know it, man. I mean, come on. They become not to them. You'd have to. And it's sad, but you'd have to impersonate that. What I would do is I would try to make it so stupid, though, that it showed, it was funny, but at the same time it showed just how ignorant our country and our people are, as far as that goes. That's what I would try to do, just show how stupid they were, with that stereotype. But oh yeah, I know. And these same people that think all these 30 women are lying about Trump, and who cares, whatever they may, who knows, we don't know, we weren't there. But, they would believe Barack Obama did it. And why? Well, it isn't just because he's black, because he's maybe a liberal and he likes some gay people and they're different than me. And boy, it's a sin because I read some fucking fake book with fables and fairy tales in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of one of them things. But what can you do, though, man? I mean, it's true. Everything I'm saying is true. And, anybody that, talk about me being hateful, anybody who wouldn't want to say what I'm saying is a hateful bitch. I mean, I don't use that word ever to describe a woman. I've called a few dudes that in my life, but I'm saying in general, you can't fuck humanity like that and keep that kind of shit quiet. It doesn't, I don't care what else they do. I don't care what kind of person they're, but when you have a problem with somebody because of their race, their ethnicity, or their sexual preference, and I'm not talking about liking kids. I'm not talking about sickness. I'm talking about the consenting adults. Yeah, man, it's really, it says a lot. Why would you even, see, what I don't get is not only why wouldn't you have a problem with it, before you even got to have an issue with it, right? Why would it even come up in your mind to think about, even if you knew some 2 people were a same-sex couple or something, for instance, why would it even come up in your mind that they were, do you think about your coworkers at work fucking each other? Well, you might if one of them's hot. Let's be honest, you're younger, you're hot, you think about what they may be, but you're not gonna sit there and think about how terrible it is that they are. You're just gonna accept that they are. you know, and that's how it is. You know, it's whatever in the morals thing. Fuck you and your morals. You know, well, keep good. That's good. That's why you should have your morals. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and have some. You get a hold of me when that person's gonna force you into doing some of that shit you don't like to do, and then I'll be right there to back you up, man. Really, if they're gonna try to force you to, let me know. We'll see. We'll see if we can't get them to stop that. You know, other than that, and yeah, people are really weird, man. People are really strange like that. You know, they're really weird, and come to find out they've got always some hang-ups themselves, and it's so obvious. It's what I don't get to see. I'm the dumbest motherfucker that's ever walked the earth, or one of them. I'm close. There might be a few less, but I mean, I really do think so. For all the shit I talk, I'm not that bright at all. Really, not even, and I know that's no surprise to a lot of people, but, I mean, but my thing with that is what I can't get, right? What I can't get is, you know, that being said, I can't get how some of these people are so dumb to know how dumb they look. When you know, they're smarter than I am with book smarts, and they've been around a little bit, maybe longer than I am too, and what in the fuck are they at? Why would they? You know, I kind of wonder if they're being serious. You know, what the fuck, man? Reptilian mind control much? I mean, Jesus Christ, what the hell? I wouldn't even, a lot of the shit that bothers them, I wouldn't even think, I couldn't even, you'd have to bring it up to me to get me to think about. I mean, it just wouldn't cross my mind that Joe and Earl and Robbie are screwing each other. You know, I mean, maybe I think about it, but I think about it probably about as much as I think about Sally and, you know, Sally and Robert or whoever, Sally and Jim screwing. I mean, you know, just not really, you know, not really what I think about too much. But I don't know, people want to get in, those kind of people are weird. They want to get in people's bedrooms, bathrooms, their doctor's offices. You know, they want to make sure they don't have sex after 12 o'clock at night. They only have sex missionary style. You know, they don't want to do any of that stuff. Oh, yeah, I know. You know what, I've never cheated on a woman in my life, but I'll tell you what, when I was younger, I used to play the one sometimes to get with a Christian girl or whatever when I was in high school. One thing I wouldn't play her, but I'd be like, oh yeah, I think making love in any other position like that is just terrible. It's just sin if we can't look in each other's eyes. And and the ironic thing is I'm a sap. I really actually kind of I do feel that way about making love though. I know, God, my friends are going to kick my ass for saying that, but no, it's true. I do feel that way. But, you know, I just, you know, and say, oh, it's such a sin, and yet I feel like it kind of is. It's the whole fucking hypocrisy of me. I think it kind of is. Making love, I can't, you know, I don't like it. I feel like it's not good, just like I'm against a woman giving oral sex. Not that anybody needs to know that. I'm totally against it. I don't believe in it. I believe a man should do it for hours on end when, you know, at will, because to please the goddess, but man, I don't agree with a woman doing it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not in for any kind of legislation or getting in their business or anything. No, completely anti that, but I just don't. I think it's disrespectful to the goddess to do that. I kind of look at it as raping a woman's mouth. I do, and that's just my thing, though. But everybody's got their own thing, and I suppose if it's consenting between two adults, hey, it's, you know, perfectly hunky-dory. No, you know, but yeah, you know, or that, you know, it's crazy. Alien Watch, 10/26/24, or what did I call it yesterday? Ascension Watch, boy. Ascension Dimensional Ascensional. So we got another day of it coming up. We'll see them in the clouds today, and we'll just see when people really start noticing this shit. You know, I mean, can't believe I keep having to bring it to people's attention. Then now it's so there that they do see it, but man, I guess people really would have to look up. And what it really reaffirms is it's more so than how they say knowledge is power, but it is. But man, awareness is power. Consciousness is power. I mean, because that's something that just about anybody can have. You don't have to go to, you don't have to have a high IQ and get work your butt off to get a degree in school to have, some consciousness and some awareness. Sadly, it takes that for some people, though, to get there. It does. It takes that, but you don't have to. And it is powerful to be at least aware of your limitations, but aware of what you can do. You know, don't get too hard on yourself, but don't get too high on yourself, you know. And just be aware that we all need each other and all that. Even the people that are against everybody for, you know, for saying the Lord's name in vain. And I mean, can you imagine, really? Can you imagine, picture this, people? I want you to try to picture this if you hear me. Can you picture some God? A controller, like, I mean, it'd be like if I made a goddamn game of the fucking Sims, which is probably what life is like, and I got pissed off because I referred to myself as the eminent creator or some bullshit, and it had them say it like that, and the guy got mad one day and got pissed off. He was working on his car and he said, that fucking eminent creator put me in this situation. He's a fuck, you know, or eminent creator, damn you, or you know, whatever you, God, eminent creator, damn. You know, and I'm like, oh, the Lord gets mad when you take his name. What kind of a fucking dumbass, shallow son of a bitch of a soul would give a fuck and not and if anything, not laugh it off if somebody said their name and they were damned? Rob damned. Rob damn you. I mean, come on. How could you even get mad at that if your kid said that to you? I mean, you're going to play the big shot parent. I mean, I could see if you're having a heated talk with them and they did it. Or disrespectful, but don't overplay it. But I mean, even still, I know you gotta play the role model and that cool. I've been there, but and why in the fuck would that make somebody that ascended mad? You know what that would be like? That'd be like Mike Tyson or who, I don't know, somebody like Conor McGregor, right? Conor McGregor's a KFC, probably like KFC, UFC tough guy. That'd be like him going into the goddamn gym. And there's some 10-year-old kid who's promising, looks promising, he's working out, he's a good wrestler for his age, man, he's kicking butt, doing great, right? And he says, hey, McGregor, when I get older, I'm gonna beat your ass one day. And this kid's 10. That'd be like Conor McGregor getting a fucking chip on his shoulder over that. I mean, we're not talking some dude who's about to become an adult or, you know, is a threat. But that'd be like him getting all worked up about a 10-year-old kid telling him that someday he's gonna come. You know, now a humble guy would be like, champion, I'll be retired by then, but go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you know, but that's what it would be like. In fact, it's worse. It's worse than that. I can't think of a scenario. That is a more understandable. Conor McGregor getting pissed off at a 10-year-old little boy for that is a lot more understandable, 30 times more understandable than some God getting upset because he told God to go fuck himself. I mean, seriously. I mean, my God, man. Yeah, I mean, the one, at least I could see a reason for it, because, you know, the kid thinks he's going to be a threat someday, and, you know, you got your pride. But say, fuck you, God. And what, God's got a chip on his shoulder because he created you. He wants you to be one. He's a jealous God. Well, yeah, he's a jealous God. He's a shit fuck of a God. Why would you want to worship some fucking moron like that? Oh, so you don't go to hell? Is that it? It's got to be it. That's got to be the only reason, really. And I hear you. I don't blame you. I don't want to fucking face that kind of shit either. I wouldn't want to. I hear you, but I'll be goddamn, dude, if I wouldn't, you know, that's the one thing. I am a pussy, but that's the one thing I'll draw the line at, man. I'm not gonna, dude, if that's really, I mean, if that's what it's all fucking about, you know, if I lived pretty much an okay life, didn't hurt a lot of people, whatever, you know, made it through, and it's because I fucking didn't bow down and I said his name in vain more than 35,000 times, I wasn't gonna go to heaven, okay. You know, I mean, the whole concept is sillier than silly. It should be a comedy show. It's, spirituality is wonderful. Religion, no, not really. Yeah, it's, you know, faith is okay, not blind faith, though. That's blind faith, man. Yeah, that's blind. When you close your mind off, that's blind faith. When you just think this is the way it is and you don't know. You know, if you don't know, you don't fucking know. You can think you know, but you don't know. That's why you got to keep an open mind in every now moment you're in. And, you know, and don't judge, you know, only use other now moments before that as reference points. Don't sit there and say, well, I did this, so I'll do this for sure this time. You don't know. But people like that. They love to go to church on Sunday and Wednesday night sometimes, and they're, you know, get their fix. And they did you know, because the Lord, he just wants to make sure you go there on Sunday to pay homage to him. You know, and they can sit there and go, well, at least it ain't like those other religions where their God makes them want to pray every day, 6 times a day, or they're going to go to hell. You know, the funny thing is, those religions, I've known people that have been in those religions. I wouldn't want to be in them either, but dude, It ain't quite like that. It's not quite like that at all. It isn't quite that amount. It's close. It ain't quite that amount, for one. And two, these are people dedicated. These are people that are about their faith. They're about their faith. They're really living it, right? Like, they're into it. They want to be there, most of them. Yes, you can see on TV, a lot of them are forced to be in that religion and all the extreme cases and shit like that. And it has to do, of course, because we think that way because they're a darker skinned people usually, and you know it. You know it's true. But all the Christian child molesting that goes on here and the trading of kids and the undertones here, shit. Sicker than what anything you'd find over there, because at least you know what you're getting. Here you don't know, man. That guy could smile right in your face, some nice looking white vanilla dude smile right in your face, and he's fucking your whole family. And I'm not even kidding. It happens. It happens. Hey man, I used to know this preacher. He was so egotistical. This man, we'd have a potluck every Sunday, okay, or you like to cook out. Not a cookout, but you know, potluck, people brought a dish to church. He was so arrogant. So you know what he judged the winning dish that all the ladies would bring in. You know what the winning lady got to do? What her big prize was? And he thought this was really cool. She got to make dinner for him and his wife. She got to come over to their house, buy the groceries, bring the groceries over, and she got to make the dinner for him. Oh, and he was just beside himself. He just thought that was the coolest thing and how lucky they were. And, I mean, you could tell he really thought that way. You know, I mean, he really honestly thought that way. At least 80% of it, he thought that way. I could tell by the way he'd said it. He'd say, oh, they get to come over. He really felt like he was loved like that, man. I mean, there's love, but come on, man. Now, then again, I would do something like that to be funny and see if I could just go through it. But with me, it'd be straight up and it'd be me being funny. And the moment I was called out on it, I'd laugh and joke about it. But, you know, I'd play it out until I could. I mean, it's so ridiculous that, of course, fuck. Of course I would. Shit, yeah. I'd play that thing like it was... What the hell's this? Look at this, people. Check this out. Now, I just saw this come up over the house next door. Where we're talking here. Whoa. I mean, honestly...